I need one. Boom. Twice. Luis Ortiz was no joke. Nobody wanted to deal with Luis Ortiz. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody wanted to deal with him, and I thought that was admirable of Wilder. I'll fight him. You know, but you think Wilder's gonna? You think he's gonna make another comeback? You think so?
I think he'll do it. I think he's gonna, depending on his opponent next. I don't think he wants to go as dangerous as a Parker or Zhang. He might want to do somebody like. Let me think of a good prospect. Maybe Caballero, but he's got skills, so he might even be a problem for Wilder. Trying to think of somebody where he can get a little confidence, but it's not a cakewalk.
Go to Adrian Broner. He might have to go to Adrian Broner route. You know, I mean, go really low. I mean, find somebody to look good against at this point. You know, just somebody that you can knock out.
I'll tell you who he'll fight. Who he didn't fight a long time ago. He should fight Charles Martin.
Oh yes, that would be good. That one. Charles Martin's on the way out too. Friend of mine on Facebook too. Yeah, friend of mine too. Yeah, that would be a good fight. Charles Martin had what was his last fight against? Anderson? I think Jared.
Yep.
Jared Anderson.
Ortiz and then Anderson.
Right.
His baby Anderson. Yeah.
Yeah. That was he had his moments with Anderson too. He can box. He just
good jab. He gave Ortiz issues.
Right. He did. You know who's really dangerous though, and they got to fight now? Bacoli.
Yes.
He's a monster.
Very
guy,
much.
Man.
Yeah.
He is a monster, man.
Yeah, he's a force, man.
Yo, I didn't think anybody would do that to Jared Anderson like that, man. I didn't. I was shocked, man. It was like nothing he hit this guy with was phasing him. And they were talking about, well, yeah, he's from Africa and he's seen this and been through that. And then you factor all that in, and it's like, yeah, this is just a boxing fight. This ain't nothing to him. You know,
right.
He's in probably tribal wars and stuff back in Africa and things like that. Seeing his people die and stuff. So this is it's nothing. Now he knows he's got to get his mentality. Chance to get the money. Yeah, and he's tough, and he's like a wall, man. You know he's gonna wear you down. He's gonna wear you down, and he's tough to outbox too. He has like one loss. He has one loss, but it wasn't by stoppage. It was
Michael Hunter.
Yeah, right. Michael Hunter beat him, and they're supposed to have a rematch.
And I know another good opponent for Deontay Wilder is Dillian White.
Dillian White's wanted Wilder for a long time.
He's a scrapper. You know, he likes to brawl. He likes to, so that'd be a good one.
White is on the downside now. That would kind of be good. It would be about time. Better late than never.
Yep.
Better late than never, that's not a bad one. But would Wilder want to do it?
Right.
That's the whole thing. And then Wilder, I think me and you talked about this before, there was a lot of people saying that, Joshua was ducking Wilder. But these same people fail to realize that there were 2 or 3 offers sent to Wilder's camp. And he turned them all down. How do you turn down a $50 million, a 2-fight deal for $50 million, I think it was?
Oh, the $100 million.
It was $100 million.
The zone deal.
Yeah, it was something like that. It was very lucrative. And Wilder turned it down. And I'm thinking, well, how is it ducking somebody, but you're trying to get them to fight, but they won't accept the deal? This is like the mind of boxing fans. Like, Joshua doesn't want any parts of him. But you got to really look into these things. It was Wilder that didn't want these fights.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And these boxers, what they do, see, this is a reason why the sport is kind of like going through a transition now, is because you have boxing fans who want to see the best fight the best, but you have these fighters now that play the politic game. That I want to make as much as I can. I'm gonna if he's too dangerous for me to fight him, and you want me to fight him, you're gonna have to pay me. So now I'm gonna cash myself out. It has to be something outrageous where they're not gonna want to pay it. And then it's like, oh well, the fight's just not gonna happen. The end. It's over. Negotiations fell apart. Oh well, we were pretty close. We were 75% there, and then it just couldn't get it done. Yeah. And then these fights just don't happen. It just don't happen.
Yeah.
All the time, I mean, countless times. I mean, we can go to, I talk about this all the time, like Pacquiao and Floyd. The two of them should have had a trilogy. And it should have been from years ago. They shouldn't have fought in 2015. They should have fought back 2009, 2010. They could have had a series of fights. And then the boxing fans would have been happy. We got Marquez and Pacquiao 4 times. Not saying I was disappointed with that. Those were great fights, but and then when the fight eventually happened, it underwhelmed. Like, it wasn't what people wanted to see. Floyd just easily won. Pacquiao, supposedly had an injury and stuff. But these fighters, they do it all the time.
And you know what, bro? It's like, don't get me wrong. I understand the politics and the behind the scenes. Sometimes it is a situation where the promoters, but then there are actual situations where the actual boxers have so much arrogance. Because I'm a huge Tank fan, but I'm never impartial. Even if I'm a fan of you, I will call you out on certain antics.
Right.
I didn't like the fact that Tank is going on there talking about, what has Shakur Stevenson done? What has he done? Why is he worthy to even fight me? I don't like that kind of talk. Because that to me sounds like a roundabout way of you putting a little wedge of an excuse there for the fight not to happen.
In a perfect world, we would see these fights happen. We'd see, I mean, they say Lomachenko's retiring, so he's going to likely be out. I mean, but then fighters talk about retiring all the time, and then they bounce right back. So the word would, like, give me Tank, next year, I'm retiring. And it's just something they throw out there. Shakur Stevenson said the same thing. I'm upset. I can't get this fight, so I'm retiring. It's not the same thing. It's just people talking. Unless they really do it, it's it's a lot of talk. Now, I would like to see Haney fight Tank fight Shakur Stevenson, Shakur fight Haney, all of these guys fighting each other, even hopefully getting Keyshawn Davis in the mix.
Yeah,
Keyshawn. Get these guys, what's his name from Brooklyn? Hutchinson, Richard.
Yeah.
He's coming up. A lot of nice young guys, man, skill wise, coming up. Let these guys start getting in there and fighting with each other. And Tank, though, I had a friend that I talked to about Tank, and it's not that he doesn't like Tank, but he feels like Tank is a protected fighter.
Right.
He feels that Tank is a protected fighter. And he looks at, when Tank first came, they wanted him to fight Loma. And Tank was like, no, I don't want to. I'm not ready for him yet, which is kind of true. Tank was kind of young, but Yeah, he's green. And, admittedly so, but he fought like the Rolly Romeros and the Barrioses, and now it's like I feel that Tank's resume's I think it's above average. I think it's I mean some people feel that it's not good, but I feel he's fought some decent fighters. I do. Shakur Stevenson, on the other hand, though, is another story. Shakur Stevenson, who I was starting to really like. I totally got turned off of him after watching him fight Edwin Dos Santos and his performance there. Like, look, man, you Rigondeaux, some of these other guys that we want to hit and don't get hit. Listen, I get it, okay, I get it, but people need to understand that is not all that there is to boxing. It's an aspect of boxing. It's not all that boxing entails. You know what I'm saying? These guys, like Rigondeaux, everybody, oh, well, nobody wants to fight Rigondeaux. When you're throwing 3 punches around and you've got half the crowd sleeping, I don't see people knocking down the door to fight you.
Mm-hmm. Your stock is going to drop.
Yeah. Okay, well, you're winning fights. Okay, but at what cost? Shakur Stevenson, the same thing. He can't get big names. You know why? Because you sit and you run and you backpedal all fight long. Larry used to do the same thing. And then somebody must have sat and talked to him like, hey, listen, man, your career is almost over. You're going to have to start throwing some punches. You're going to have to start doing something. So he starts letting his hands go, having more exciting fights. And, he's prolonged his career. There's no one that's going to want to fight you. And more importantly, no one's going to pay to see it. You're not going to get big paydays. You're not going to get people who want to watch that.
Because I think where that all kind of stemmed from is me and you, we might be around the same age. But do you remember Pretty Boy Mayweather? So Pretty Boy Mayweather showed he was a finisher. He would stand in that pocket like Pernell Whitaker, and he could still break you down and stop you. But once he injured that hand and he became more defensive, and then the Money Mayweather came, he wasn't as aggressive as Pretty Boy. Everybody's trying to look like Money Mayweather, but they're forgetting at one time he was Pretty Boy before Money May.
Well, what happened with Floyd is basically Floyd was locked in with Top Rank. Him, and then you had De La Hoya too. So basically, they started boxing's Cold War. They both splintered off eventually. Because when Floyd fought Arturo Gatti, Floyd wasn't happy with the money he got. He felt like, look, I want to be making this every fight. This is when Floyd was hungry. This was Floyd early in his career. This is when Floyd was like, I want Costa Zoo. I want this one. Give me Mosley. Give me all of these guys. He wanted them all. And there was no one really that really was crazy about fighting him too much. Oscar, the same thing. They both splintered away and did their own thing. Floyd started, his own company. And Oscar did. And that's when now the promoter Bob Arum it was something totally different. You got fighters now promoting themselves. They're self-promoters now. So now, basically, like you just said, when Floyd first started, Floyd would try to go for finishes and stuff like that. I mean, but Floyd stopped going for the knockouts because of his brittle hands.
Right.
The hand injuries started up. And I mean, we got some good fights. I mean, when he fought Augustus and the Castillo, the 2 Castillo fights were good. I don't know. Do you remember when Floyd fought Jesus Chavez?
I don't.
It was, if you haven't seen this fight, it's one of is one of Floyd's toughest fights. Actually, a lot of people don't know. Now, Jesus Chavez killed a guy in the ring, Levander Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's who Floyd fought. Floyd fought him in his. Now I'm not either Floyd's 8th fight or 9th fight.
Hey, what's up, Graham? Shout outs to UK.
All right. Yeah. But yeah, it was the brittle hands thing, and Floyd basically he stopped trying to go for knockouts. He started just pot shotting more. But he definitely showed that he could let his hands go and stuff. People got upset with him later on in his career, but like I said, he had brittle hands. He couldn't knock guys out. A lot of guys have hand problems,
right.
you know. Right. You know, it wasn't really his fault so much. I'll say this real quick, right? Look at when Canelo fought Floyd versus when Canelo fought Lara. I always bring up this scenario. I think that when you see Canelo against Lara backpedaled a lot and was accused of running a lot in that fight. Whereas if you watch when Canelo fought Floyd, even though Canelo was green, he was, but you'll see that Floyd used excellent boxing skills. He didn't run. And Floyd's been accused of being a runner too. And I don't really know why people say it, but he's been in the pocket. Floyd will tear you up inside, you know, outside. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Everyone has a preference. Everyone sees things differently. For me, he wasn't a runner. He wasn't.
Right. And I hear that more or less in this era. I've noticed I see that left and right. That cliche is very loosely used. Back in that era of me growing up in the 90s boxing, and then my dad's era, Ali, and then his dad's era, Sugar Ray Robinson, my grandfather's era, you didn't hear people calling Sugar Ray Robinson a runner. You wouldn't hear people call Sugar Ray Leonard a runner. People respected the true art and scientific science of boxing.
Right.
You know, that was a talent. That's a skill. But nowadays, people just think everything's going to be a phone booth. Everything's going to be, you know,
right in front of me. Robots.
Yeah.
You know, it's people want to see knockouts. Foreman, Lyle. You know, they want to see that every
Holyfield, Riddick Bowe.
Right.
Trilogies. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They just let the hands go. No defense. Just get in there and try to hurt your opponent. That's it.
Yeah.
So do you have like a favorite? Like a boxing match, like in terms of skill wise?
You mean
like a master class, just like
all time fights, or just in this era?
Maybe just favorite, like a favorite. You know, like for me, I have I have a few, but like Roy Jones Jr. against Vinny Pazienza. Man, the beating he put on him, man. Oh my God, man.
Yeah, and, I like the Ali and the guy they kept calling him Clay.
Ernie Terrell.
Terrell. Yeah. He put it on him.
Yeah. Ernie Terrell held a high guard. Ali just got around it and puffed his eyes up.
Mm-hmm.
What's my name? What's my name? My name. Yeah, that was he beat Terrell pretty bad. I'm into that too. Like all of the, you know, all the eras. I try to go back. I go back to about not the bare knuckle stuff. I not into that too much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where they're doing like 100 rounds and stuff like that. Jack Johnson stuff, not
Right.
too much, but go up a little bit. Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Robinson, Ezra Charles,
Oh yeah.
Archie Moore. You know what I'm saying? All of those guys.
Yeah, they
Rocky
got some good stuff. Well, down not far from where I'm at, downtown Cincinnati, they have
the Cobra, your guy.
Yeah, Ezra Charles
Charles.
Street. They got his mural. They got a statue. It's a real nice setup in the West End of downtown. The mural is in Over the Rhine. Cincinnati downtown. Yep.
Ezra Charles was a hell of a fighter, man. And his fights with Jersey Joe Walcott.
Oh my God.
Those were classics, man. They both won like 2 fights each, too. I think, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. Like they had 4 fights, and they both won like 2. They both, I think, knocked each other out in both of them. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think they fought like 4 times, and
his 2 fights with Marciano was crazy too.
A lot of people give Marciano so much credit, for fighting those guys, and they were way past it too.
Yeah, they were on the decline.
They were, they've been in a lot of wars, and they gave him, they gave him a headache. I mean, Ezra Charles split Marciano's nose.
Sure did.
Split it.
Yeah.
Almost were gonna stop the fight. His nose is hanging off. You know what I'm saying? And this is this is the old Ezra Charles too. This is he was aging and everything, and but it shows you the toughness too. These guys, they weren't fighting for money.
Right.
They weren't fighting. I mean, they weren't fighting for money, but money wasn't everything. That's
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where some of these guys would be fighting, like you brought up Sugar Ray Robinson. Well, Sugar Ray Robinson had like over 200 fights in his career. If you get a guy today fighting like 4 times a year, that's extremely active. You get most guys fighting like maybe twice. Twice is a conventional year. You know what I'm saying? But 4 times, and these guys, some of them were fighting Sugar Ray Robinson. Some of these guys, like back then, 4 times a month.
Yeah, Sugar Ray Robinson was special.
Yeah, climbing up and down weight classes and stuff like that. Yeah, See, the unfortunate thing about that though, a lot of these fighters, like, there's like no film on them. Very little film. Like Sugar Ray Robinson, there's no film on him as a welterweight. Everything else you get of him is like what, middleweight. There's no film and that's where they say that's where he was his greatest. Like you get like when he fought Gene Fullmer and Basilio, they give you certain clips of stuff, but you really, a lot of that stuff, it's never recorded, and it's a shame. We'll never see it. We'll never see it. That's why I named my page ListonUnfiltered or whatever. Sonny Liston is my favorite fighter. So that's why I named it that. But even with him, there's very little footage.
Yeah, Sonny Liston, especially in his prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very little. Ali, they must have knew Ali was going to be special. I mean, from the jump, because everything. I don't think there's anything he did do that is not recorded. It's all there.
Yeah.
All of his fights. You can get it all. Start to finish. All his interviews, all of that stuff is recorded. It's locked away.
Yeah. Yeah, man. The Louisville Lit.
Yeah. Now look, what about what's gonna be a good fight? Teofimo Lopez and what's his name? Sundriel Matthias, is it? Matthias?
There might be. I think that's who it is.
Who fought he's the one who he did what he did to um Pritchard Cologne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Wow.
And he's a puncher, man. A big puncher. That's gonna be interesting. It's about time Teofimo gets back in there and starts getting his name out there. You know, he's starting to talk too much. Get in there and start getting these guys wanting to come at your neck again. You know, because Teofimo's talented. I'm not a fan.
Right.
I'm not a fan. You know, but